Hey sweet friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Nicole and this is Lazy Creek Homestead. On my channel I like to share things like shopping haul, what's for dinner, lots of recipe inspiration. I love to be in the kitchen and sprinkle in a little bit of mom life and what's going on my homestead. I'm a mama to 4 boys, been homesteading my small property here in New Hampshire for 10 plus years. If any of that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'd be absolutely blessed if you'd hit that subscribe button and stick around for a while, because you never know the love and the chaos you'll find here on Lazy Creek Homestead. In today's video, I got some delicious apple recipes. We are in peak apple season here in New England and they are delicious this year. So let's get in the kitchen and I'll share with you these amazing apple recipes. So we are in peak apple season and we are using up those fresh apples we got from a local farm. We are going to make a Carmel apple crisp. I have about 8 apples sliced up in my baking dish. I put a half a cup of sugar. I'm going to put in some cinnamon. I'm going to eyeball it, but we really like cinnamon. And I'm going to mix up my apples and let them sit while I get the caramels ready for our caramel sauce. So we are going to make the topping for our apple crisp. I have 3/4 cup of oats and 3/4 cup of flour, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and about a teaspoonish of cinnamon. And I am going to add in 1 stick of cold cut up butter. I just kind of cut it into little squares. And we're just going to mix this all together with our fork. If you have a biscuit cutter, that will work as well as... If you have a biscuit cutter, that will work as well. And here is our strudel topping for our crisp. It's all nice and mixed together. The butter has everything nice and moist and crumbly. And that's how we do it. To make our caramel sauce for our caramel apple crisp, I got these caramel chew candies. And we unwrapped them and we have them in our dish. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk until these guys melt. And we're going to pour that right over our cinnamon and sugared apples. We have our caramel chews in our pan with 2 tablespoons of milk, and we have this over a medium-low heat, and we're just going to let these guys melt, and hopefully they just come into a caramel sauce. Our caramels are really starting to melt now. And there we go. That came together really quick and easy. And now we're just going to pour it over our apples. And we got the caramel on our apples. You kind of want to work with that sauce pretty quick and carefully because warm sugar is very hot. I drizzled that on the best that I could. And now we're just going to sprinkle on our crumble topping. My favorite tool for this part is my hand. I think it's the best way to kind of get your crumble topping sprinkled on as evenly as you can. And then we're going to bake this in our 350-degree oven. And we're going in the oven. So we're going to make some caramel sauce for the top of our apple crisp. I have about 7 or 8 of those caramel squares in here with 2 tablespoons of milk. and I'm going to microwave it in my microwave for about 15-20 second intervals. And our apple crisp is out of the oven and cooled, and we have our caramel sauce here that we made from the microwave, and we are just going to pour that caramel sauce right over, and then we'll let that all cool, and this will be dessert tonight. So we are going to have some of our caramel apple crisp. The boys have had some already and they really enjoyed it. They said one of the best apple crisp we've made. Caramel is cooled and thickened. Oh, it looks so incredibly delicious. And then we'll just have a little scoop of ice cream. Oh, the kids were right. This is really good. If you guys like apple crisp, I really hope you can give this recipe a try. Hey friends, we are back in the kitchen using up all those wonderful, delicious local apples. I have 1/3 cup of brown sugar and 2/3 cups of white sugar here in my bowl, and we are going to make an apple fritter bread. I have 1 stick of softened butter. That's a 1/2 cup of butter. So we are going to blend together our butter and sugar, and we will add in our eggs and vanilla extract. Now that we have our butter and sugar all creamed together, we are going to add in our eggs and our vanilla extract. Two eggs. Give our homemade vanilla extract a good shake. And now I'm just going to mix the eggs and the vanilla extract well into our sugar and butter. Next, we are going to add in 1 cup, or 1/2 cup, excuse me, of milk. And then I'm going to mix that well together. Next, I'm going to add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And I'm going to mix that well together. I am adding in a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour and a teaspoon and 1/4 of baking powder. And we're going to mix this well together, and then we are going to add in some cinnamon and nutmeg and chopped apples. So I have some cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg in my batter, and I have some chopped apples here. Gonna add in, it says 2 apples worth, and that was about 3 apples that I had chopped up. So let's say that's 2 apples. We're just gonna mix all of our apples and our cinnamon and nutmeg together in our bowl. And then I'm going to get it into my greased bread pan. So my very appley apple fritter bread is ready to go in the oven. I have my batter in my greased loaf pan, and I had some leftover apples that I sprinkled on the top that had some cinnamon and sugar. And we're going to bake this in the oven, and when it's cool, I will add a powdered sugar glaze. Our apple fritter bread is out of the oven, and I put a little bit of a cinnamon sugar topping on it, and then I will add a powdered sugar glaze. And we're going to make the glaze for our apple fritter bread. I have 1 cup of powdered sugar and 2 dashes of cinnamon. I have about a tablespoon of milk, and I'm gonna mix that together, and if I need to, I'll add a little bit more milk. I think we're gonna need a little bit more milk, so I'll do another splash of milk. We just want to have this to be like a pourable consistency. We'll get that all mixed together. We'll pour it onto our apple fritter bread. Our glaze is all mixed together, and we are just going to drizzle it over the top of our bread. You don't have to add the cinnamon, but my family really enjoys the cinnamon flavor. And our glaze is on. We're just going to let that start to cool, and it will harden up, and we'll slice into our apple fritter bread. Alright, so we are going to cut our apple fritter bread. Looks really moist and delicious. That glaze really settled in there. Can't wait to give it a try. This apple fritter bread is so good. I really hope you guys can give it a try. It's moist, it's delicious, it's really, really good.